Hey guys, welcome back to Uncut. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kolby, and this is the podcast where we get to talk to Hawaii's most innovative, creatives, entrepreneurs, and change makers. And it's our anniversary.
It's been a whole year.
It's been a year. March 1st was when we first uploaded our episode 0. And so it's been a full year of interviewing just some amazing people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We talked about this like kind of off air, but then like sitting down and like actually recording it, like, yeah, I guess it just kind of puts into perspective, like when you stay consistent and do something and just like execute and continue to do it, like it's such a great feeling to see where we've come. It's been a long journey.
What's one moment that comes to mind that when you think about all the interviews, especially recently, that comes to mind for you?
I think recently, like just Kilana's episode, right? Like where we're talking and like, yeah, we hear the story and the journey and whatnot, but then we were able to go deeper and like past that surface level, and like that for me was just like, it's crazy, like this space, I think McKenna brought it up too, where we can create a space where people get comfortable and share their stories, and like in a way it helps other people when they listen. And for Kailana, like I remember like us like stressing the weeks before, like trying to figure out a guest for Valentine's Day, right? Like either a couples therapist or someone that knows anything about love and all that. And then we talked to Kailana, and like midway through the episode, she's talking about like loving herself, being able to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And it's just like, whoa, this is it. This is the episode. Like we were stressing about something, but then like, we would like dig deeper and figure that out. So that was kind of amazing. And yeah, I mean, that kind of like kickstarted like the next steps for our podcast, I think, just getting deeper.
Yeah, because I mean, we had no idea when we first started. We were like, let's just talk to these entrepreneurs and creators, talk about their journey. And then, I mean, that's great because that's super inspiring and motivating to see like where somebody started from and like who they become and like where they're going. But then I think when we're able to tap into the deeper like insecurities, fears, like challenges that people have had to deal with, I think that's when so many other people can relate. Yeah,
things that aren't really talked about usually.
And with Ryan, he talked about grief and like losing people close to him, and I was like, wow, that's the stuff that we want to talk about more, you know? Yeah, and I think it does build some sort of like community connection, just normalizing things that are hard to talk about and things that are challenging. I feel like it's just good. It's good vibes. It's authentic. It's genuine. It's real.
Yeah, and that's what we're going for. And like even just today, like our guest today, she came in and we were like doing some VT, and she was like, "Oh my God, guys, I get to be an Uncut," and I was just like,
"What? Like, you're such a rock star."
Yeah. So our guest today, she's amazing, Alexis Akiona. She owns Lex Breezy. Started her business back when she was 22, and like it's grown so much since then.
Yeah, Hilo Girl, yay, another Hawaii island. Her mom kind of started her off in like craft fairs and doing like Hawaiian things, crafts and things like that. And then she started her own brand, and then I love that she like went deeper and wanted to be like a real, designer, and then went back to school. So her whole journey is super, super inspiring. And she's not even 30 years old, and she's like done so much already.
And yeah, she has a new exciting give back program, and she's starting something new. So we get to talk a little bit about that.
Lexi, welcome to Uncut.
Mahalo for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Is this a Lex Breezy?
Yes,
of course.
Your first podcast.
It is my first podcast.
Exciting.
Wish me luck.
No, it's very, very chill. We're just having a conversation, and we're stoked that you're here to like share your story.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So do you say that you're from Hawaii Island?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Hilo girl.
I know. We joke about it in the other episodes, but she has so many like Hawaii Island guests. Like we're keeping count.
Yeah, I'm collecting them. I'm so proud of our Hawaii Island guests. So you say you're from Hilo. You graduated from Waikea High School.
Yes.
But then you're back and forth, you said.
Yeah, so originally I'm actually from Honolulu, but growing up I lived in Hilo. I was raised in Hilo. My mom and my dad still live in Hilo, and then I have like my sister and my dad guys still here. So it's a little bit of both, and so I have friends and family in Hilo and friends and family here. And so I think that's why we get so much support, because it's like both the islands. But I miss Hilo. Everybody's like, what are you doing in Honolulu? Go move back to Hilo. And I'm like, oh no, it's too much for me.
That's kind of like the theme. Like, we love being from there, but then it's like
2 days at work, gotta come home.
Yes, exactly. I know. So, and your mom has a boutique in Hilo.
Yes.
Very popular boutique in Hilo.
Is that where like your passion kind of stemmed from?
Yeah.
I think just like being inspired by my mom and just like seeing how she started things, and she started at the Mary Monarch Craft Fair, and she started doing jewelry, and so she really like always say like she planted the seed for me to start whatever I wanted to do, and it just so happened that I was like really good in fashion and I really loved what I did, so she always like inspired me to do that. She opened up her storefront in Bayfront in November of last year, so we always get to work together and do craft fairs together, so it's really, really nice.
Oh, that's
That
so
kind of
nice.
like strengthens the relationship on a different level.
Yes.
Did she teach you how to like make stuff? Was she during the craft fairs? Were you helping her make stuff?
I was actually her first model, I'd say. So
Okay.
we would do like these bandeau dresses. I don't know if you remember a
Yeah,
bandeau dress.
totally.
It was a bandeau with a fabric on the bottom, So she would do that, and then I would be her model for that. But I went to school for sewing and craftsmanship and all of that.
Nice. Yeah, and I know I kind of read that you did things. I mean, there's no right or wrong, but you kind of did things backwards,
Yes.
right? Kind of started everything and then kind of realized, I should go back and learn some stuff. So what was that like? Like, when was it like you were like, oh, I want to like start? When did you start like drawing your own designs or like doing your own stuff and whatnot?
Yeah, so I think I did things a little bit backwards. I had a business, I started a business, and then I really had to think about like the next steps as a designer, and that I don't know how to sew, I don't know how to cut fabric, I don't know anything. And I was just so inspired by other Hawaii designers like Kini Zamora, Auri Stout, Ola from Fede, like they all went to Honolulu Community College. And I just thought that if this is something that I really want to do, I have to just go all in. I have to go from the basics and learn everything and just like keep learning and keep evolving. And to me, that was going back to school. So that was so important to prove to myself that, okay, if I want to be a designer, this is what I have to do. You know?
Yeah. So before you went back to school, you had started your brand, your business already.
Yes.
So what kind of things were you making before?
I would make like a one size t-shirt dress, and my parents, they really like guided me to where to manufacture, what to do, meet with our pattern makers and stuff like that. But it was really like I had to know the language of a factory and know the language of sewing and really know like the basic skills, because if you don't, then it's like you don't really get that respect as a designer. You don't get that respect from everyone else, so you really have to prove it to yourself. And I think school is just a great way to be different from everybody, because in fashion, or I'm sure in a lot of industries, there's so many competition, but you want to like separate yourself from everybody else, and nobody else is going to want to go to school. Nobody else wants to go get a degree. So, because it's a lot of work, and you have to give up everything. And I was so young at the time, so I was just like, let's just go. And if I can do this for 2 years, then I know that that's where I should be.
Nice.
Nice.
It's a good mindset going into it. Yeah. So
sorry, I'm like trying to go back a little bit too. So when did this whole journey start? Like creating your business, or at least knowing like you wanted to create things?
Was it always Lex Breezy from the beginning?
So actually, I used to work for Farmers Market Hawaii, the clothing company, and that's really where I got inspired by working for the creative director Keone Payton and Raleigh Robertson, and I was their shop girl for years. We built such a big brands in Hawaii, very well-known brands. And I mean, this is when Instagram first started. We were like killing it, making these videos, doing pop-ups. Like people were waiting in line for hats and t-shirts, So I think that's where I started my brands of Lex Breezy. And because I was a shop girl, I was selling hats and shirts, and it was just like a lifestyle, I guess, that we created. And from there, after seeing what they were doing, I was like, I want to do women's. I want to do something of my own.
Yeah.
You know, so that's when I ended up leaving the company, and my mom inspired me to start my own.
Nice.
So this was back in when was this?
This was like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a journey, and it's like you start something and you don't realize that you're going to end up here 10 years later, you know?
Yeah, you don't think about those things.
It's just like 1 foot at a time, like one step at a time. And then when you look back, it's like, wow, look at what I did.
And it's exciting is that everybody has grown so much. You know, when I look at what everybody else was doing 10 years ago, everybody has grown and everybody has started something of their own. It's just so awesome to see.
Yeah, that's so cool. So when you were at HCC, were there other people that you were like going to school with and learning with that also had created their own brands too?
I think everybody went into a different area of fashion. You know, some people went to work for the big companies because that's what they wanted to do. And I actually have one of my good friends that work with me right now. She's in charge of all our production. So me and her went to school together. We graduated together. So now she has her own team for manufacturing here for us. So it's exciting to just, you know, everybody kind of like in school, you have to like create those relationships because in Hawaii, it's like not what you know, it's who you know. So it's good that you can create those relationships and still use them today.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So did you meet her in school? Or
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So that's good. You just kept that relationship
Yes.
and kept it going. That's awesome.
There's some like heavy hitters that come out of that program because we had Ola on the show, and then we had and he was just like talking about a bunch of other designers that came out of that program. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's such a huge
it's more of like a technical program, so you learn everything from like sketching all the way from it being on a runway. And then Manoa has a similar program where you learn about like merchandising and stuff like that. So it's so great because it's like you need that in the fashion world, because if not, you're like not really respected as a designer.
Yeah, like you're saying, just knowing like the basics and the language pretty much. Yeah, and then like being able to like, if you wanted to, you can do it yourself.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's good for like any industry though, because
100%.
even like in what we do, like in like being a creator, like anybody can be a creator, you know, and you can just buy a GoPro, but then once you get into like a certain kind of production, it's like you kind of gotta go back to school. Like you have to go and like learn different skills.
And separate yourself.
Yeah.
Make yourself unique compared to everyone else that's out there.
And things are always changing and evolving. So I feel like it's so good to just keep learning and just keep growing, you know?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so then you went back to school, and then how did that change the like trajectory of Lex Breezy after that?
So when I went to school, fashion school is super, super like so tough. I would work 8 hours on my homework. I had to quit my job and I had to just like focus on school 100%. Like I couldn't be working another job. I couldn't be working while being in school because it's so much work. So I quit my job and I just focused on school for 2 years. And I was in that program. I was in and out. And I did the best that I could. And then it was my senior year that I was like, okay, I'm getting ready to graduate. What am I going to do? What am I going to do with this degree? So then I just decided, okay, let me open up a studio. Let me just open up a design studio. We'll do custom stuff. And I was still doing Lex Breezy at the time, but I wasn't consistent. So I just was like, okay, quit my job. Let's open up a studio. I opened up a studio right here in Kalihi, right across HCC.
Nice.
It was like 600 square feet. And I was so scared, the rent, how are you going to make it? What are you going to do? But I think from that, it just motivated me to go to work every day. And like you said, just 1 foot in front of the other and just keep designing, do custom orders. So after school, I ended up doing that.
Okay, so what kind of things were you making at that point?
We were doing like custom orders. So we were doing like weddings, bridesmaids, little family sets. At the same time, we would still do craft fairs. So before COVID, we would do like Made in Hawaii, Merry Monarch, and small little fairs here and there. That really was our bread and butter.
Okay.
Nice. And then, so this was, what year would you say?
I graduated in 2019, and then I got my studio like 6 days after graduation.
Oh, okay. So like that was a kind of a quick
so
decision.
as soon as my senior year started, I was already planning for the next 6 months. I was like, where am I going to go after graduation? Like I have a degree. Now I have to use the degree, you know. So 6 days after graduation, I moved into my first design studio.
Nice.
Not knowing that there's a pandemic coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Only a few months away.
So what was that like?
Yeah, how did that change things? How did you navigate through
that, and how did you kind of change the direction of your business?
I think it was like super scary at first because you don't know. You're always on this, when you're an entrepreneur, it's like that unknowing feeling of what's going to happen. How are you going to pay your rent? What are you going to do for money? And always goes back to your finances, and is it going to work out? But I just always have this mindset of you have to do it now, because if not, in 10 years later, you're not going to have the energy. You might not have the time. So I just like live my life on a YOLO moment. Like, you know what?
Let's just do it.
You only live once. Just try, let's just do it. And if it works out, it works out great. And if it doesn't, then okay, next thing,
Yeah.
So I really just like stuck to that. And from then, we opened on Saturdays. I would open up my small little studio on Saturdays for people to come shop. And then the pandemic hit. And then we're like, great, we have no Merry Monarch, no craft fair, no meet in Hawaii. And for a small local business, we rely on that. That's our bread and butter. Some businesses can rely on those finances to get you through a whole year. So when that was taken away from us, I had to like take a step back and like, okay, what is the next step? And because they took that away from us, I said, okay, now we're going to open up a store.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
in the middle of COVID.
Yeah. So here we go again, like always just pushing the limits. Like, okay, no, there's no craft fairs. People can't come to visit us. Everywhere in Hawaii is shut down. Our factories are shut down. What are we going to do to get in front of our customers again? We have to like, in COVID, it felt just so like a negative spot for us to be in. Like we have to like look outside and we have to look forward for the next year or two, so that's really what kept me afloat, was just looking what's next for us. And for us, that was opening up our storefront in Kailua. I know.
Yeah, talk about a leap of faith too, because you're saying like it was nerve-wracking just to open the studio,
right.
600 square feet, and then now you're opening a storefront,
right, in Kailua. It's so expensive. I just had my first son, but I think it's just like like you said, the mindset is just so different. And I was tired of being in this COVID pandemic world, and I was just like, I want to do something inspiring and motivating, and something that's just going to keep me going, because I'm tired of being in such a negative space where I want to like inspire others and I want to just push my boundaries. So I think I needed that as a designer. I needed that as my businesswoman to like keep going.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was that like? Okay, so this is 2020. Was this 2020? 2020, things were like all up in the air, and then you have this idea to open a storefront where was it like you could actually go and shop?
Yeah, so I feel like 2020 things are clearing up again, we're in 2021 and still have to wear a mask or whatever everywhere was doing,
but it's still opening up, starting to open up.
I was able to open up a storefront in Kailua, like right down the road from where I live, so that's why I chose Kailua. My husband's from Kailua, so it was so nerve-wracking. It still is, I can't believe I still have a storefront in Kailua,
Yeah.
You just live your life and you like forget, like, oh my God, I used to be here and now I'm here, So it's exciting. And actually right now we're getting ready to open up our second location.
Really?
Yes. Where? It's secret still.
Oh. Stay tuned.
So we're working on that.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, how exciting. And
So
that's only two
years.
2.5 years after.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you opened the storefront in 2021? 2020.
2020 was our opening, yes.
Yeah. So then you're working on it the whole time during 2020. How much bigger was the space, and like what were the challenges that you kind of had getting into the space?
I think like every season you go through different challenges as a business woman or business person and an entrepreneur, and I feel like back then it was balancing my time, because I just became a mom.
Yeah, you got married.
First time
I got
mom.
married. I'm a wife. So back then it was more of like learning to balance it all, and really like seeing where I pick my time, and where I choose to pick my time, I guess. And I feel like as a businesswoman, you have so much challenges, but then you have your team and they have challenges as well. So for me, it's like you have to be like a leader and you have to like support your team. So that's where it was like me having to build this team, because I started with one worker, and then I'm in the pandemic, we opened a store. Now I have 13 workers.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just building this team, being a good leader for them, and just like helping them and learning to delegate, you know.
Yes, like, that's a big one.
Yes, delegate. When I started, I want to do everything. I want to be social media. I want to do website. I want to do the photos, you know.
Designer.
Yes. And you're like, you want to do it all, and it feels good to do it all. You know, you're in charge of everything. You love how you do it. You know, you make no mistakes. You're not nitpicking what you're doing, you know. But I felt like I was just couldn't balance it all. You know, now I'm a mom. Now I have a store. So I really had to learn to delegate and build this team that I could trust them. So it was more of like just letting it go.
Yeah.
Letting it go and trusting them that they can handle it and they can take on.
That's so crazy to think about where you were at that point, being a new mom. Because that alone, like once you have a business, you're working whatever 60 80 hours a week just doing everything, and then you have this baby that is like demanding all of your attention, and your body is recovering and like all of these things, and then going through all kinds of crazy emotions, and then you did this like all at the same time. That sounds so insane.
I was like building the shop pregnant, and like, you know, nobody even knew I was pregnant at the time, you know, so it was a lot of work, but it's like so fulfilling in the end, because when I found out I was pregnant, actually, I had somebody say, you know, how are you going to do it? How are you going to, you know, have your own business, open a store, and, you know, raise a baby? And before you have kids, you're like, I can do it, you know? And then you have kids and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? You know, what? I have a crying baby all night, you know? So it just, you have to just be able to switch gears and really just like I said, balance your time and your space and take care of yourself and take care of everybody else. So it's a lot, but when they told me that, I think it just like lights a fuel, you know, in you, and you just do it, man. You're just like getting up and you're just like coffee.
I remember that, because I remember before I had kids and I was pregnant, same kind of thing. Like one of my mentors who doesn't have kids, she was like, do you actually think it's possible to be like this entrepreneur businesswoman that you want to be and be the mom that you want to be? Because I always wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to be a present mom. But she asked it to me as if like it's not possible. And I was like, oh, challenge accepted. Like, I'm going to figure this out. But yeah, it's hard because you don't have all the time in the world. You have to sleep. So what were the things that you gave up because you can't do it all? You realize like you can't do all the things that you used to do. So what were the things that you picked? Like, these are the things that I need to focus on.
I think like delegating, and then like being like, because I started my business, you know, like when I was 22 years old, and I'm having a baby at, you know, 26, 27, I'm able to like delegate to certain people so I can be present for my family, and just learning how to balance it on. Everybody asks me, how do you balance it all? You know, and I'm like, we have so much help, first of all, from the grandparents and my sister, but just being able to block off certain time and know that it's not that your family comes first, because they'll always come first, but you have to like put yourself first. You have to put your business first. It's just what season are you in? You know, I'm at the season where I have my job. I get to drop my son off at school, pick up my son. I can take him to practice. So that's the season that's important to me. And then delegating time and making sure I have the right team to kind of take control and back me up. And like it all flows eventually. So when I say like start when you can, because, you know, 10, 20 years from now, it'll really pay off.
Love that. What was a moment where you were like, was really hard? I mean, it all sounds hard, but like, did you have a certain moment where you're just like,
was there a moment that almost pushed you there?
Yes. Like I said, different seasons, but the most recent one was when I became a mom. It was just like so hard to accept that you can't be all at a place at once, and you can't be there every single moment of the day, and that's what you want. You know, you want to, everybody's telling you they're only young once, you know, but you're like, I'm a working mom, I'm a working wife, you know, and I have to accept that that's the plan that God had for me. And I give so much credit to stay-at-home moms, because it is 20 times harder to stay at home.
Hell and yeah.
It is a lot of work, and I don't know how they do it, man. So when I had when I gave birth and I had baby, I was home, and it really like changed who I was, because I couldn't stay home. It was so hard for me, because I had my work, my business, my baby, and now I have to stay home. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good though, because you never know. I mean, some people become a mom and they're like, I don't want to go back to work.
Yes.
You know, it's so different for everybody.
Yeah. Just like you said, different seasons.
And it's always changing, you know. So I think that was really hard for me, and it's still hard for me to accept that, you know what, I have to work and I have to provide for my family, and I want to, like, you know, take care of my husband and take care of my family, and do all the things that, you know, as a mom you want to do. So I think that was like such a struggle, but it's like changes every day. So just accepting it and just embracing that this is your path, you know, and this and I'm here because I believe that God put me here to inspire all the other moms, to inspire everybody else. So it's not like I'm only working. I feel like there's also a bigger plan ahead.
Nice. Yeah, there's a bigger purpose for everything.
You talk a lot about like accepting things, and, you know, like you mentioned a lot about like the seasons that you're going through. Like, what, you know, growing up, like what kind of like got you here, you know, like this thought process, because it's like you don't like wake up and think about this right away. So it's like, what kind of things happened, or like, I mean, you speak about God and all that stuff, so like what kind of things kind of brought you to this mindset that you're in right now?
I think it was like when I started working when I was like 16 years old. You know, I was working, you know, 2-3 jobs in high school, and it's just like we didn't have much growing up, and my mom was really strict, and she didn't pay for anything. So it's like, you want a phone, you need to pay for it. You know, you want to do this, you want to go to prom, you need to pay for your prom pictures. So it was really like my mom who's like taught me how to work hard, and like if you want it, like you have to go get it yourself. And then, you know, working for Farmers Market Hawaii, and really like being in the moment where I was working for a big brand, and that's all I knew, and that's all everybody knew me as Farmers Market girl. So I struggled with it for so long, just being able to like find a name and a place for myself. You know, you still have to like let it burn a little bit. I feel like, and then you can like feel how you have to like move on for it. So I mean, you can let it sit for a couple of days, and then for me it's just, you just have to move on, move forward, and like really like my mom taught me how to do that.
Nice.
I love that mindset. Yeah.
You just gotta let it burn.
You just let it burn and sit, you know, for 1 or 2 days, and then you gotta move forward and get over it, you know. And that's how it was during COVID too. Like, okay, we're in COVID, so what? You know, what are we gonna do? And just having that mindset is so different, because I just want to stay in the positive space, and just you know, like the law of attraction is so real. Like you really like make the life that you want. So just like always improving and always being positive, it really works out in the end.
Nice.
Love it. I know you talk about that a lot, like the law of attraction and just like visualizing and manifesting.
Yes,
and we're
I love
big
it.
believers.
Yes.
So we talked about some hard stuff, things that you had to deal with, but what were some like huge wins that you've had recently?
Oh my goodness. I think recently I graduated from the Mana Up cohort.
I saw that.
So that was really exciting.
James,
yes. Really exciting. It just put me into a bigger perspective for our business, and being able to scale our business with Mana Up, and Melly and Britt, they're huge mentors for me, you know, and helping me like know that there's more out for me and more out for my business than what I'm taught at school or, you know, through my parents. But just like they're so motivating when you get to be around women that like are so far ahead in their career. And that's how I ended up starting my give back program, which is actually so huge for me. And I started the Lex Breezy Scholarship for Honolulu Community College Fashion Technology program. So every year we're going to be sending about 15 to 20 students, giving them funds for tuition, supplies, whatever you need, money for school, you know.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so they really motivated me to give back, because I feel like when you are at your business is at a certain level, like you only can make so much money, and money is not success. It's about giving back, and it's about what you can do for the community. What can I do for you? So just being around that mindset is so different. I like love it. Like now I'm like, what am I gonna do for the Hawaiians? What am I gonna do for this keiki? Like what can I do for you guys instead of just make clothes? So it's really inspiring.
Oh, that's like the next step now, right?
Yes.
So you went to school, you started your business, and then so what kind of pushed you to join this cohort, this program?
I think I just wanted like more, and I just like, you want to keep learning, you know, you have to keep learning, and like it's scary at first, but I just like push all my friends to go and do it now, because they open so much doors, and it's just like when you're around other Hawaii entrepreneurs and you're around other Hawaii business people, it's just like a different amount of like support you get, because we all go through the same things. Yeah. You might not know it, but we all do. We all have parent problems or whatever it is, but we all do this, we're all going through the same thing. So it's nice to have a community that understands and doesn't judge, and they're like, oh my God, do you have the answer for that, know? So it's a good community to be in, and the relationships you make with it, and it's not who you know. I mean, it's not what you know, it's who you know nowadays, So I always like to go sign up, because they really like open so much doors for me.
Oh, that's so awesome. What were some like, besides like just the networking and like learning from the other people who are in the cohort, like what were some big takeaways for you as far as like building your business, scaling your business, or even just thinking about business differently?
Yeah, just like that mindset, know, that like Melly says, that Hawaii is a brand, where everybody recognizes Hawaii. And so just using that and being from here, and like create opportunities for me and creating opportunities for everybody else and the next generation to be able to be raised here, but also have a business here, and really use that to grow as a business owner. And then it would be like the give back program that they help start. That's huge, I think, for anybody. Because at first you're just like, okay, I want to give back, but where are you going to give back to? How are you going to give back? It's like, I wanted to start the scholarship since I went to HCC. I just don't know who to talk to. I don't even know how to get started, but it's just like the steps you take, and just like being able to like put it out in the universe and say, okay, how am I going to get there, and what are the steps to get there?
Yeah, that's huge though, because especially from like a girl from Hilo, like just kind of doing it because you sort of fell into it, and then now like just creating your own path. That's super inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the scholarship. This is such a big thing, and like being able to give back. That's such a I don't know. I think like you said, everybody says they want to do it and whatnot, but like this program really helped you get there. And then so like tell us about the scholarship and what it means to you.
So actually when I was going to school, I got the Manuheli scholarship that helped me quit my job and helped me pay for funds and supplies and stuff like that. And so I was inspired by Auntie Deneen to say, okay, now I want to do my own scholarship, because I want something that is so meaningful and that can in the end help and inspire the next generation, because that's really our mission at Lex Breezy, is to inspire the next generation. So what values and what can I do to help the next generation, So for me, that was like starting a scholarship that will go back to school, because I feel like school's so important, like not everybody has that. And in the end, you need a game plan. And if things turn south, at least you have a degree in something, so just having that as a backup plan is so important. So it's for Honolulu Community College Fashion Technology program. And then it's also for the cosmetology program as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So either if you're in fashion tech or cosmetology, you can sign up, and it's for every year.
Wow.
It's exciting, yeah.
Wow. So this is like, people can already apply for it?
Yeah, so you can apply for it right now. Applications are available at HCC. And then it's going to be for every school year after that.
That's amazing.
That's so cool. You're going to change some lives, girl.
Hopefully, yeah. And so we go, and it's like preference goes for Native Hawaiians, because I'm Hawaiian. So it's just like all a part of giving back, and like, who are you? What do you stand for? Like, just because I make clothing, I want to do more. I want to be more. I want to, in the end, I think that's what success really is. It's about giving back. It's about like giving your time, and just really like supporting the next generation and supporting the future of Hawaii.
Oh,
that's so cool.
So good, yeah.
In the meantime, you had another baby. Yes. So has that changed, or I guess challenged too? Like how did that challenge you for your time, and like how you decide to, balance things?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so crazy.
Yeah, because one is a whole different, and then two is a whole different story.
He just woke up last night at 11 o'clock, and I'm like, why are you up? I gotta be up early. I have makeup. I gotta do this podcast. But we have so much help, and like my husband is such a such a great dad, such a great husband. So it's like about that support system that you build around you. And like my in-laws are such great help, my sister. So everybody's like, how do you do it? I'm like, grandparents and sister. If I didn't have them, I would be like lost, so it's nice to have that, and just like balancing it. And I love being a mom, but it's so tiring. It's like, when are you going to take a nap again? And I'm like, I don't know.
Never. When they're like in college, no. Yeah. Well, I remember I was just like telling you before we started, I was like, God, I remember that like 1 and 2 year old time. Because I had 2 under 2 too. And I was just like, I don't even know what day it is. What is happening? So
you're
crazy.
Next. You're having kids next.
Yeah.
I know. Countdown is on.
I know. Everybody's waiting.
Go on as many trips as you can.
I know.
But yeah, it's the different season, and I'll find a way. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Find that balance. What's next? What else are you like working on? And I the second store.
Yeah. Well, it's my 30. I'm turning 30 this year.
Oh. Wow. Yeah.
So it's a big year for me. So just like setting those goals for the next 5 to 10 years is like so important for me. And opening up another store, building my team, and then now I'm like so focused. I just was in the 23rd annual entrepreneurship awards. Yep. So I was surrounded by so many entrepreneurs and innovators, and when you're in a room full of those people, my God, like you are so inspired. So now I want to work on like another give back. Like I'm just like, how can I help you? Like that's what I'm focused on now, is like I want to do something that is gonna, it's like leave a legacy, because when you're around those people, they're like, they don't just make money, man. They have programs and they're giving back and they're taking care of the community, and so it's so inspiring. So,
girl, that's you. You are one of those people. You're not even 30 years old, and look at what you've done.
So that's what I'm working on, and opening another store. So it's exciting. Lots to come.
Yeah. That's so exciting.
That's very inspiring, and I think. It's people like you that like already are inspiring the next generation. But hearing these stories, hopefully you'll be able to connect with someone that's listening, and they'll really connect and feel it, and be motivated to do something as well.
Okay, so if there's somebody out there listening that is like going through like similar, like trying to build their business, trying to juggle being a mom, what are some things that you have started to do in your life that kind of give you that balance? I know you have a lot of help, but you also do a lot. So, I mean, how do you do that? How do you kind of manage your time so that you can get everything done?
I think like it's just like being able to start, because I started this years ago, I'm able to be a mom now. But if you say you're trying to start something now, it's like just doing it, going out and doing it, and just putting one foot in front of the other, and like having that mindset is so important, and surrounding yourself by the right people, and like cutting off all those distractions, and like stop making excuses. For me, when I started, I make excuses. How come I'm not doing this? How come this is not getting done? But you have to like know that you have to take charge of your life, because if that's the end goal that you want, then you have to start now, and you have to plan. I'm very organized. I have my whole year plans. So staying organized, and just doing it, and like not listening to anybody on the outside tell you can't, because I struggled with that for so long. When I left my last job at Farmers, everybody will tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you're just like, you know what? I can do it, and I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to just use that as fuel to keep inspiring me, and use it as fuel to like get it done. So I would just say like, you can do it. Like if you need help, if you don't have the sitters, like I think for me it's like finding the help, right? So if you don't have help, let's look for help for you. Let's get money from the state to help you or something, there's always a way. You just have to find it, and we have so much resources nowadays. So for me, it's like there is a way to do it. Let's find you that way.
That's such like the entrepreneur's mindset. Yeah. Like,
how to solve this problem.
There's a problem. We're going to figure out a way to solve it.
Yeah. So who can I call? Who do we know? Who from the state can we get a grant for? You know? So what is it that you need to get to the next spot? So for moms, it's like, we don't have the help. We don't have the childcare, you know? So what can we do to get you the childcare? So don't let any of that kind of like hold you back. And then don't let any of the people on the outside try to talk you down and try to not make you motivated, you know, and just stay in a space where you're so positive and you're so clear that nobody else is gonna like interfere with that. It's so important that you have a dream and your goal and you're just gonna go after it.
Love it.
That's
so good.
That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
You're saying like how you're such a planner. So do you like plan your week? Like, how do you do that? You just use like a planner and just like have everything in there?
Yeah, so like we were talking about when I come in today, I'm like, oh, my week is, you know, completely booked. And I like to plan far in advance because as a designer, I have to order fabric, you know, months
You're already
ahead.
thinking of like Christmas.
I'm already thinking of holidays and Black Friday, you know. So it's about planning and like executing all those plans and making sure that you have everything set up for you and really building your team. Because like if it wasn't for my team, I really wouldn't even be here today, you know. So training the right people and like trusting them and delegating, you know, you have to delegate because as an entrepreneur, you think you can do it all, but it's too much. You get burnt out, you get tired, you don't have time for your family or your husband, you know, so you really have to delegate and like just accept that it's okay, you know, because that's what you need to grow.
What are some of your tools that you're using, I guess, like not necessarily like physical tools, but you know, like like Kolby was saying, like, is it a calendar that you kind of like mark everything down, or like a task list, or like how are you delegating? Like, how are you
to-do list, task list, calendar,
everything,
all of it,
organizer, scheduled on posts on Instagram, you know, and like setting up that team so they know that.
How is your team set up right now?
So we have the girls at the shop, and then we also have my fulfillment team and my social media team and the production team here at my warehouse, like 3 minutes away from here, actually. So they know that when they come in, we have to pack orders, we have a to-do list. We are planning for Merry Monarch right now, so we're super busy. But just knowing that you trust them and things get done, you know, and not like nitpicking them or micromanaging them is so important. And just trusting that they're gonna get it done.
Do you have like one key person in all of these areas that's like she is the boss or he is the boss of this, like the fulfillment? No.
So you still oversee everything?
No, I actually tell them, you know what, you guys are your own boss.
Oh, nice, yeah.
You are your own boss. They come in when they need to come in and get things done. I trust them there. I don't like to say I'm the boss. You know, I'm like, you're so good at social media. You do social media. You're so good at fulfillment. You do fulfillment, customer service. And then my worker, Lorraine, you're so good at manufacturing and you know, cutting and sewing. This is what you do. So they're all your own bosses. They come in when they need to come in, but they come in every day, same time, you know. But that's why it's just like you have to like give them that trust and know that they're gonna get it done.
That's awesome. How do you make sure that everybody's like on the same page? Is it like a weekly meeting or like
just me being there and like communicating with them, you know, and planning ahead of time, like, okay, Merry Monarch is coming up, you know, so this is what we need to get done, and just trusting that they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they really do. They work really, really hard.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's exciting talking about Merry Monarch. Are you actually going to be there?
Yeah, so excited because actually I started at Merry Monarch. I sold like my first release. I launched my first release at Merry Monarch at my mom's booth. I sold like 50 dresses, you know. So every year I go back, it's kind of like an anniversary for us. Yeah. And I'm from Hilo, so we get so much Hilo support. It's like a reunion. Nice. When I go, I'm like seeing everybody. I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
But it's the 60th anniversary this year. So it's really, really exciting because I think last year people didn't really know what they, you know, you didn't know over COVID, you know, you have to be vaccinated or whatever to go to the hula, you know. But this year I think everybody's just like ready to just celebrate hula, celebrate Hawaiian language, and celebrate our culture. So it's really exciting for everybody to be back together again.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
And it's the best time in Hilo, you know.
It is the best time.
It's the biggest festival where we get to like honor, you know, Hawaiian language and the culture and celebrate hula. So I know all the halaus are getting ready for competition, and all the small local businesses are getting ready to, you know, for the craft fairs. So it's like we rely on that, you know, as a business owner. Is like we rely on these little craft fairs. So it's nice that Mary Monarch does support all the small local businesses too.
Yeah,
nice.
That's like my happy place. Yeah. I'm just like, every time I'm like, okay, this is my budget. Don't spend all my money. But yeah, it's just so exciting to see, like, especially having not, because last year they were back, but it was like in a smaller space.
Yeah, I feel like people didn't really know yet. Like they're kind of like on the like iffy, I guess. Like, oh, should I go? Should I not go? Do I have to wear a mask? So it wasn't really clear. But this year, like, all bets are off. We're all going.
60th
we're
anniversary.
We're gonna celebrate, and it's exciting.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
So, are you guys coming?
I'll be there for sure. I am definitely
now I gotta find
a
way to get there. Someone hire me. Just kidding. No, but for people that, you know, you talked a little bit about your mission for Lex Breezy, about like giving back to the next generation and whatnot. So tell us a little bit about Lex Breezy. We never talked about the brand and whatnot, but like what is it all about? You know, your designs and like your brand and the meaning behind it.
Yeah, so I mean, we started as an Aloha wear company, you know, following my mom's footsteps, and we started producing here. And it was a small batch. We would do, you know, just a few of each size, and then over the years it grown, and it's really about like inspiring everybody to wear Aloha wear. You know, we live in Hawaii. I believe everybody should be wearing Aloha wear. I should have brought you guys something to wear. But just like inspiring everybody. So that's our mission, is to inspire everybody to embrace Aloha wear. My generation, they didn't really want to wear, you know, what my mom was making. They want to wear something fun and sexy and trendy, you know, flirty. So I was like, I want to make something for myself. And then that's kind of how I got started. So we work with local artists, and we work with local pattern makers. We still manufacture here locally our premium line, but then we also had to go overseas during COVID. So we make women's, men's, children, swimwear, house decor, accessories. We really expanded.
Yeah, I would say would you say like in the last couple of years, like when you open your shop is when just like went, I see it everywhere.
Thank you.
Everywhere, and so bright and happy, colorful. Was it a challenge to kind of figure out what your brand was, or was it just like, this reflects my personality and this is going to be my brand, but just, you know, just like stand out, or just to separate your brand from other Aloha wear brands?
I think it was like my generation, you know, like we wanted fun, flirty, we wanted the colors, you know, I wanted something fun, you know, I wanted to feel a certain way when you wear Lex Breezy. It's not serious, but it can also be used for date night, it can be used for every day, you know, weddings, luau's, you know. So for me it was like that's what I like to wear, and that's what I want to wear. But now everything changes, you know. Now we're doing so much accessories and swimwear. So we constantly like bring out new releases and new patterns and new designs. So
what does it feel like when you see it in the wild? Or now, you must see it everywhere now, but like early on.
It's so sweet. I'm like so humbled by it, you know, and I'm just like smile inside. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, and people love it. And people were like, my auntie just told me, I get more compliments on my Lex Breezy bag than I do on my Louis Vuitton bag.
It's different.
I'm like, your $80 Lex Breezy bag and your $2,000 Louis Vuitton bag? Good.
But that's you're like setting that here, you know, like building that like awareness for the Aloha wear and all that, the bright fashions.
I would be so like tempted to be like, I made that. See it in the airport or something.
When people ask me, they're like, what are you wearing? Lex Breezy. And they're like, oh nice, where do you know, what's that? I say, I'm Lex Breezy. Oh my god, you know.
So
it's like still a super sweet feeling. It never gets old. It's just like, oh my god, you know. But it's nice to see, because I'm just like, everyone should wear Aloha wear, you know. So
do you get a lot of people like coming up to you and like just like with their stuff and be like, look, I'm wearing your clothes?
Sometimes, Mostly people don't know I'm Lex Breezy, you know, so it's nice. And I'm like, tell them, oh, nice dress, you know, or nice bag. They're like, oh, I got it from Lex Breezy. You know,
like, I know.
Or they'll go up to my husband and they'll be like, oh, I know your wife. I see you on your Instagram. You're Lex Breezy's husband, you know? My husband is like, oh, somebody came up to me again.
Is he totally being like the husband of Lex Breezy?
He loves it. He loves it. He's so sweet. He's so great.
Shout out to James. after, your second child being born, like kind of like change your mind? Did your mindset change at all, or like?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like now before you're a mom, it's like so funny because when you're not parents, you think I'm not gonna let my son or daughter watch iPad. I'm not gonna do so much things, what I mean? And you're like,
yes.
every day I'm like, here's your iPad.
Yeah, here you go.
Here you go. Turn the TV off.
Oh my gosh! I actually told my girlfriends, like, my kids are not gonna eat McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly.
Just see us in the McDonald's line every single day.
Yes, I'm like that mom, and like even when we travel, like I'm that mom with the screaming kids on the plane.
Yeah.
So it's so fulfilling and it's so motivating, but it definitely changes like who I am and like what I stand for, and just like that's our future. We really have to like take care of them and like teach them and like give them, like, for me it's like giving them the opportunity, because for us, maybe we didn't have the opportunity, so giving everybody else in Hawaii and giving our keiki the opportunity to succeed or to have a bigger mindset or to, travel or whatever it is, just giving them the opportunity to do so. And I believe that that's why I'm, have my scholarship, and that's why I'm here. And this is my path to give them the opportunity.
Yeah, that's huge. My husband and I were just talking about this last night, because it's like, we're like killing ourselves, like every afternoon it's like swim lessons, all these things. And I'm just like, I just hope like when they become adults, like they are further ahead than we were when we were that age, And it's the same as like for the whole community. It's like just rising up the communities. It's like those kids are gonna have like a higher starting point and like be able to do so much more. Hopefully, it's the hope, right?
Yes. And I believe we have so much resources now, so we need to use it. We need to tap into it, and like what can we do for them? And I think that like after you have kids, you're just like, this is like your life, and like how you work so hard every day to give them that life, So just giving other parents and giving all the other keiki opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, so good. Well, we're super excited to like just watch your journey and see all the amazing things that you do, and where the next store is going to open.
When is that? What's the timeline?
Hopefully summertime.
Nice.
So yeah, we're working on it right now. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Exciting.
So I think like now it's like, people are like, you gotta do it now, and it's like I might not have energy later on, So I'm like, you know what, we're gonna do it, whatever.
Yeah.
If it works out,
YOLO.
I'm always on that YOLO, and like my husband is so supportive. He's like, yeah, just YOLO it, But and then just putting the work, behind it is so important. So in the end, it's like you gotta just be consistent and work hard, and like your YOLO will work out.
Your YOLO will work out. How can people find you and your information, your socials, and all that? Shout yourself
our
out.
Instagram is Lex Breezy Hawaii, and then we have a website, lexbreezyhawaii.com, and then our storefront is actually in Kailua, right in Kailua town, 16 Kainehe Street.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Today.
Congratulations. I'm like just so proud of like all the things that you're doing. So
thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
And I think it's just one more thing. It's just like, this is just the beginning, because your scholarship just started. So like once you start seeing people coming out of that program with your it's gonna be like a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
So we're stoked and excited to see all that and see what other programs you start.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you have any idea, you guys want to work together, just let me know.
Oh, she's only getting started. Not even 30 yet.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Congratulations. And thank you again.
Okay, so we didn't talk about this too much during the podcast, but talk about the accelerator, the Mana Up program.
Cohort, yeah.
Yeah, so the Mana Up cohort, when I first heard about it, it was, a 6-month accelerator program to kind of scale your business. And at first you're just like, what is this? Do I have the time? And so it's like every week, but it really like put me into a different space because I'm so used to the local crowd and I'm so used to,
the Merry Monarch
crowd, and the locals and my mom guys and just being in that group of people. And so when I started Mana Up, it was a different crowd. It was the Hawaii entrepreneurs, it's the innovators, it's the professionals, so it really like made me like step out of my comfort zone, but it was like I needed it, because it's like you're so comfortable doing what you do every single day, but in order to grow, and it's not growing pains, what are you gonna do more? So it really like helped me step out of my comfort zone, and it helped me like meet all different types of people and really see like what is out in Hawaii.
Yeah, because it wasn't just like in the retail industry. This is like in different industries,
different products, and it's like farmers and creators and designers and people, anybody who makes a product in Hawaii. So it's really, really special, and it's like a great community because we all go through the same things and just having each other's back.
Yeah. Were there other people that were kind of navigating motherhood or like being a new parent too?
Yeah, so it's so interesting because it's like nowadays I feel like it's a lot of women out there being entrepreneurs and handling these businesses. So a lot of them was women in my cohort. So it's really, really nice.
How big is the cohort?
I think we had about 11 of us, and now we're just like a big ohana, So it's really nice that you have somebody who understands and like they know what you're going through and they're like willing to help you, and it's just like that. It's like a sisterhood, so it's like being able to be in a place where you're not comfortable, but you learn, learn and you grow and you get comfortable being around everybody else.
You need to be out of that comfort zone in order to grow.
Yes. So we just did the 23rd annual entrepreneurship awards, and wow, I was like, so like, where am I? Who are these people? I'm like, what is happening? And I was just it's so interesting because they are, you don't even know their job titles, but they're somebody up there, and it's just like, it's motivating. Just being in that room full of professionals and entrepreneurs and innovators really motivates you to want more and to do more and really like take a step back of your business and think like, what can you do to be like them, So it's very motivating.
So that opened a bunch of doors for you too.
Yes. So now we're, in magazines. Our keiki line is in Nordstrom's.
Wow.
We started the Give Back program. Yeah. So these opportunities.
Things are moving.
Yes. Yeah. So they're coming in all directions. You're just like, hold on.
Hey, but it's good that you're like navigating and taking it on. So
it's all good. Again. It's good to be it's good to be challenged. It's good to grow because I think you need that. You need that, I was nominated for People's Choice Startup, but I didn't win, but it's okay because I'm just like, I need that. I need that extra little push sometimes because I just get... you just get stuck sometimes,
sometimes you get comfortable.
Yeah, you get comfortable. Too comfortable, so it gives me a little bit of fuel and it gives me a little push to like work harder and, do more. So I really need it. I like it. It's good. It feels good.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Well, and if you look at all the things that were on your plate also at the same time, like 2 under 2, like negotiating a space for a second location, like doing Mana Up, like you had a freaking huge year.
Thank you. Yeah.
Don't let that like put any kind of like damper on your success.
It's good.
For the year.
It's really, really good. When things test you and when things are like not the way you want it to be. But I think it's just good for your soul, for your, it's like it makes you're just challenged more, and it feels really, really good.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice.
That was good.
That was good.